So my name is Beejel Parmar. So I've been using ChatGPT really kind of since January and February. My daughter's been using it a lot longer. She used Jasper.ai, which is a precursor. It's been around for quite a while for doing school assignments, really. And then we went to a ChatGPT conference in February, which is really when our eyes kind of opened up to the potential of what we can do with this. So let me just move this over here. So we're going to cover a few things here today. I'm going to give you an update. So if some of you have been to some of my talks before, about maybe 3 or 4 months ago, we talked about how we were creating virtual AI advisors. These are basically knowledge bases using ChatGPT for different positions in the company. Also how we've been using kind of chatbots and AI as part of our sales pipeline. We'll talk a little bit more about virtual AI sales chatbots and how they're helping kind of convert leads into sales for us. I was going to do a demo, but because of the settings here, I may not be able to do a demo. But what I'll do, I'll send you guys a recording of the demo if you're interested. We'll talk about building. Well, so the demo we can do. Building a bot I can't do because I need to be able to use my laptop for that. And then finally, I'll talk about how I've used a human virtual assistant to help me with the implementation of the sales bots there as well. So a bit of background. So my background's in aerospace engineering. Then I kind of cut my teeth in the automotive technology and marketing spaces, travel around the world. And I've been really in the virtual assistant industry since 2009. So I helped grow 3 companies. This is my 3rd company I'm growing. I also consult for companies as well, where basically they want to hire remote teams. How do we kind of come in and look at how we can optimize their team, their costs using remote teams there. I provide training to mastermind groups, networking groups on things like virtual assistants, remote teams, outsourcing, productivity. And I'm also the co-founder of AI Business Modeling, where we go into larger businesses and we basically create personas to represent different figureheads in the business. So that's my team in the Philippines. So basically they're all now AI trained or at various stages of being AI trained as well. This is about kind of half the team here. I go over at least once a year to train the team. And again, AI business modeling is kind of new. It kind of came out because we were training the VAs on how to use AI. And through that, we basically fell into just kind of creating personas that were what we call virtual AI advisors. So we got the human virtual assistants, and we've got now the AI versions of that as well. In case you don't know, there is a big event coming up here in December. It's all things tech, basically Web 3.0, DeFi, you name it, blockchain. So right here in Vegas, September 13th to 15th, I've been on the board of advisors for over a year now, putting this in together. It's going to be a huge event. So if you use the early bird code there, you get a discount on the ticket there as well, right? So that's coming up very soon. Okay, so let's just start with kind of getting on the same page in terms of what are virtual AI advisors, right? So essentially, you may know them as personas. So these are basically creating a characteristic of a certain type of person, but using AI, right? So customer character profiles, and they have different roles they can play in the business. They can provide tailored responses, so we can give these personas a different characteristic, a different purpose in the business, and they will output a little bit differently. So what a lot of people do, they just simply go to ChatGPT and they say, hey, write me some copy, write me an email. But if you create a persona of an email copywriter that's trained on your business, the output is far greater than just saying, write me an email, right? Similar to when you're writing a book, the more we tell the persona, the more we train the persona, the better the quality of the output, right? A lot of the prompts that we write are 2 to 6 pages in length right now, right? So they're not your 1 or 2 line prompts. They're very deep, in-depth prompts on the business. And they have the ability to interact with you as well. So you can actually get different personas interacting with another persona, giving advice back and forth as well. So this way, even if you're a small business, you can still have somebody advising you on different marketing, sales, operations, human resources, even if you're lacking the talent of humans as well, right? So when we implement these virtual AI advisors, they can help boost productivity. They can literally increase profits, right? Because they're literally giving you strategies that might be better than what you might be using currently. They can save you money on labor costs or consulting costs. It can definitely help you stay ahead of the competition who are not integrating the virtual AI advisors. And they can help you streamline your content as well. What we've seen also, using these, they can create more engagement on social media, create targeted content, create targeted ad content. It can analyze vast amounts of data now using various plugins. So you can analyze different marketing data, different sales data, and come up with a much more refined strategy for your business. It can help you improve branding. It can analyze your target demographics and give you suggestions on branding, on what language you use in your marketing. If you're marketing to, say, a Republican area, you can tailor your marketing towards how Republicans think differently to, say, Democrats think. So if you know that you're targeting a certain area, and whether they're a red zone or a blue zone, you can change your targeting. If you're targeting 45-year-olds compared to 35-year-olds, ChatGPT can alter its output based on what it understands about your business and your audience as well. And it can save you a lot of time as well. So the speed or acceleration of your business is there as well. So the effectiveness of the persona, though, depends on the work we do up front. A lot of people are kind of just, they want something done, like an email, they jump on ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you're using, and they say, I need an email to sell this, or I need an email to promote this. It will give you a good output, but if we create a team of advisors beforehand, now we can go to those advisors and say, hey, because the advisor has been trained on your business, on your clients or prospective clients, their pain points, the output that it's going to give is far better for your business. So again, the upfront work is going to pay off in the long term, right? So here's just some of the advisors that we've built for companies. So we work with hotels now, we work with universities, we work with tech startup companies around the world. And these are just some of the list of things that we can do, right? So everything from a branding consultant, email marketing specialist, project manager, marketing advisor, real estate marketing, contract writing, commercial lawyer, accounting specialist, management consultant, and the list goes on, right? So think about your business for a second and think, hey, if you had, who do you need to hire? Who do you need on your team right now, right? Or who are you lacking on your team that if you had them on your team could actually add value to them? Now, there's one or two situations that we see. One is you have somebody who's in one of these roles, and there's actually more than that, or you simply don't have anybody, in which case you're kind of flying blind, right? Because it's impossible for a CEO of anything to have the knowledge base of all these different positions. But now we live at a time where we can literally create a personality of either a job role or even an individual, right? So imagine if you want Steve Jobs as one of your board advisors, right? You can create a persona trained on the knowledge base that's available specifically on a particular individual, their characteristics, and what they might advise you to do as a company. So we're going to be actually doing a how to set up these personas on a webinar on Wednesday. So if you're interested to see that live demo, we're going to kind of walk you through how we create a persona. So just go ahead and scan that code. You can opt in there, and I'll send you an email on Monday of how to register for the webinar, right? So I'm not going to be able to do a demo here because the settings on the computer and the screen just don't allow me to. But we'll actually do a walkthrough. I think we're going to be setting up 3 to 5 different personas for marketing, social media, content writer, and then you can get an idea of how these personas are actually set up for your business. So I'll give you just a second to grab that. All right. And once you've got the general idea of one or two of them, you can apply that time and time again to different personas, right? So what can you do? Once you've got these personas set up, what do we actually do with these personas in terms of our business, right? So customer support. So I'm sure you've all seen chatbots for customer support, right? Now, we're at a space now where the chatbot technology has changed because of generative AI. Before, it was basically decision tree. So basically, you'd go into a chatbot and say, do you want to go left or right? You click left and it takes you down a decision tree. Now you can train these chatbots on your business, so it basically goes and just grabs the information that it needs to answer the question, and I'll show you that later on. 24/7 availability, right? So when we build these bots, they're available. They don't take breaks, they don't take vacations, they don't sleep. They're available to us as business owners to help us with our business. They can give very personalized recommendations for your business, as I mentioned. They can help with lead generation, right? So a lot of us have to write sales copy, copy for our websites, email copy, right? All of this can be optimized using the power of ChatGPT, Claude, or any one of the tools out there. We can help with upselling and cross-selling. Data analysis, right? So again, a lot of companies base their decision-making on data. So we can feed a lot of data into ChatGPT and make a lot of decisions there. Employee training manuals, SOPs, or standard operating processes of how you want things done in your business. So one thing that we specialize in is basically delegating work down to remote team members. But to effectively delegate work to other team members, we have to have a process or instructions of how that work is done. Appointment setting, feedback collection. Virtual shopping, right? So as again, business owners, right? It's all about optimizing our time. So where can we save time with AI technology? Let me just go back for a second. Market research, again, we talk about content creation, project management, HR support, course creation. So anyone who's like, you're writing books right now, but the next evolution of a book would be a course, right? Why? Because you sell a book for $10, you sell a course for $200, right? You sell a training for then 3,000. So there's an escalation, and you can do all of that literally in a few days now, right? In fact, my 18-year-old daughter right now, she's on a trip, coming to the end of a 6.5-week trip to Europe, and she raised the money to go on that trip by running a 2-day boot camp teaching entrepreneurs not how to write a book, but actually getting their book written in 2 days from start to finish, right? So this is an 18-year-old, leveraging technology. Compliance, trend analysis, brand promotion. So literally, we've not really found a case study where we can't leverage ChatGPT, Claude, or some form of AI to give us an edge on how we do things, right? So now people say, well, it's not human, it's not perfect. No, it's not. But almost guaranteed it's been better than what most people have at their immediate disposal, right? And it's only getting better each and every time. Although with that said, we've seen ChatGPT produce some lower quality output in the last week or so. We don't know what's happened, but what we've seen for some reason, literally in the last 7 to 10 days, the quality of the output, even in ChatGPT 4, has actually degraded. So we don't know if it's a glitch, we don't know if it's a thing, or it may be just a lot of dumb humans using it and putting a lot of dumb information back into it. Literally, that's one of the theories that are going on right now, which is why is the quality of the output. So always monitor the output, don't take it at face value, right? We also do back-to-back comparisons. So we'll run the same prompts through ChatGPT and Claude and Bard just to see as of right now, which one is giving the better output. So don't just rely on one output and just take it at face value. The funny thing is, right, we can, anyone who writes email copies for their business, right? Okay. So it's a pain in the ass. Writing emails is a pain in the ass, right? So obviously when ChatGPT came around, it solved a big problem. But now the problem is that we write 10 times faster or whatever the number is, right? But the resistance to doing it hasn't really changed in terms of now you've got to go back and check the quality. So now we're producing 10 times more emails, but it doesn't mean that a lot of people are 10 times more productive. So even though we're getting things done faster and we're producing a lot more content, for a lot of people, it hasn't changed the needle. It hasn't actually changed the output of their business overall. And that's really important. So we focus a lot on, okay, 1,500 AI apps out there. Which ones do we use? Which ones do we play with? And I always go back to what is the objective you're trying to do right now? What is the business objective? And then find the right tools to serve that versus going down all these different AI rabbit holes and just getting lost in the ocean of technology. All right. Now, if anyone does want to explore, so a very close, very dear friend of mine, he's probably produced the best course out there on AI personas. If you scan that code, check out his information. It's normally $1,000. If you use that code, you get $300 off. But if you really are serious about putting together a team of virtual AI advisors, it's probably the best course out there. He literally gives you templates. So it's literally just take the template, throw it into your ChatGPT, and now you've built a pretty good team of virtual assistants there as well. So again, that's something that you can look into as well. So let's talk a bit more about sales. Now we generally talked about ChatGPT just to kind of get everyone on the same page here. But how do we actually move the needle when it comes to sales? So before we can dive into the application of technology into that, we have to understand what is a sales funnel? I had a whiteboard here, but the room next door stole my whiteboard, right? So the funnel represents how leads are coming into your business, typically through some form of website or landing page, whether you are out there networking, but we're driving people into some sort of funnel, and at the other end of the funnel, basically, there's going to be some sort of sale, right? Now, in that, there's many ways we can use AI. Creating headline copy, creating page copy, if there's going to be videos that are part of your funnel, creating video scripts, even creating the videos now, you can use ChatGPT to actually create the videos with plugins, right? So that's the first and foremost, that we have to, no matter what we are, if we are business owners, we have to have a functional funnel, right? So who here is an entrepreneur that actually sells some form of product or service in their business right now? Can I just see? So no one else is entrepreneurs? You have a business? No? Business? No? Business? Okay, what do you do, sir?
Information and data, provide background data for rental housing companies.
Cool. And what kind of funnel do you have? So obviously you've got sales people out there or biz dev people?
Yeah, we have sales people that will generally handle more of your in-face, like face-to-face and direct sales type stuff. We have a marketing team that
like an outbound team or something, or inbound. Inbound. Okay.
Yeah, we don't do many street things anymore. COVID kind of crushed the last of that. So most of ours is inbound marketing.
Got it.
Websites, blogs, content creation.
Great. And does it lead into some form of funnel?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And is it a multi-stage funnel? Is it is it appointment close? How does your funnel function?
So content drives them in, inbound gets them into our CRM. Salespeople take it from there. Sales process can generally run anywhere from 6 months to 18 months, depending on the size of the client, how much they want to do, and then onboarding.
Great, cool. So here's my advice from 2 decades of being an entrepreneur. If there's one thing to master in business, it is going to be the sales funnel, right? Think about it for a second. It is you can, and then second is marketing, right? And here's why I put it in that order. Because you can do all the best marketing in the world, but if you can't convert your leads into sales, you're spending a lot of money on marketing without making money, right? So the sales funnel, in fact, there's a book out there called The One Thing by Gary Keller. Gary Keller is of Keller Williams Real Estate. He was interviewed by Ty Lopez, one of the top marketers in the industry, and he's asking Gary Keller a question that, hey, if there's one thing business owners should master, what would it be? And Gary Keller said sales funnel. And I only really heard this, actually, ironically, at a ChatGPT event back in February. Now, I've been around this world for quite a while, but it really hit me that the one thing that entrepreneurs do not take seriously or do not really dial in for their business is their sales process. Now, I won't spend too much time on that today, but if you're ever thinking about getting a business up and running or running a business, think about your sales funnel. Now, it's a little bit different for you because you're selling books on platforms, right? But at some point, you may want to take them on a journey beyond just the book, right? Right? So that's exactly right. So, and here's why it's important. Because one of the reasons that entrepreneurs really struggle to make money is in their follow-up, right? People go to networking events, they meet people, and they have all the good intentions of following up and staying that connection. But it's hard, right? We leave these environments, we've got a bunch of business cards, and we get busy. We don't follow up. But every particular lead that you meet, a person could be a potential partner, it could be a potential customer or referral source for you. And really that the art of follow-up is consistency, right? And the touch points. So here, I know, and because I've done this, most entrepreneurs kind of suck at follow-up, right? Which is where, why we're going to be talking about the use of AI and virtual assistants to help with that. So we've got a sales funnel, which is basically how people kind of come through into your business. Then we have a sales pipeline. Again, and I really have to share this so that when I talk about the sales chatbots, you can understand the role they play. But essentially a pipeline is how people move through from the first contact to qualifying them to a sales call, a proposal, a close, and then you retain the customer, right? And to set up a pipeline, you have to have obviously a software. There's different stages, such as these stages here. There are the rules of moving people through a pipeline. There are the messages that get sent out either by email or by text or even by phone. There's the automation that goes on and often supported by a virtual assistant or team members to move people through. So we've got to understand the premise or the basics of a pipeline first. Different softwares, but they all pretty much work the same way. A little bit blurry here, but you've got columns here. And again, I would have shown you a live demo, but I can't get my screen working properly. So you've got different stages here. So like imagine you've got a new contact, you've got a new lead. That lead becomes a prospect. Then the prospect becomes qualified by a setter. That becomes an opportunity for your sales team to make the call. There's a proposal written, and now you have a new client. So a pipeline sees how many people are in different stages of that pipeline. And thus you can equate the value of your sales system, right? That's essentially what a sales pipeline does. Different softwares, the HubSpot, Pipedrive, Close, High Level. I particularly am a fan of High Level. It's probably the best all-in-one software right now for sales, for funnels and sales CRMs, and even social media posting right now. But some ideas there for you. Now when people are moving through the pipeline, there's different messages that you may want to send to your prospect, right? Depending on where they are in the thing. And then there's automation, which is if somebody takes an action in your pipeline, the software automatically moves them to the next stage in the pipeline, and basically is all tracked in the system, okay? Just bear with me here, so I'm going to make sure that we understand what typically happens. So this is not AI, by the way. This is all just automation. It's just triggered by actions, right? Someone opts in, your system sends out an email. Someone opens a document, your system knows that they read the document, right? Okay. So let's talk about actually virtual AI sales chatbots, right? So why do we have them? Why even think about including a virtual salesperson as part of your team? Well, it can help you streamline your leads. It can amplify your support. So remember, new people coming to your websites asking questions. Well, these chatbots can answer a lot of the questions. Probably a good 70 to 80% of questions could theoretically be answered, if not even 100% real soon, by these chatbots, right? So you've got a cost saving, but you've also got consistency, right? And you've got 24/7 ability to support clients. Instant FAQ replies, custom HR aid, right? So if you can even have chatbots set up for human resources, people inquiring about jobs. People can book appointments through these chatbots directly for you or your sales team. And this AI sales chatbot. Can we actually use chatbots to actually increase the sales for our business? So as I said, I believe that right now the quality is 70 to 80%. I think a lot of it has to do with how we train the chatbots. We'll talk a bit more about that. But again, here's something that we have seen literally over the last few weeks, right? 24/7, handle multiple chats. So you can have people, multiple people inquiring about your business, and the chatbot can handle multiple conversations, multiple channels, multiple locations, instead of hiring a big team there. Does not complain. Speed of response is consistent and committed. It's conversational now. It's contextual, cost effective, great at follow-up because it can be relentless at follow-up, and it can all be integrated into your automation system. So what we've seen is it can help boost open rates of emails, it enhanced engagement, and it helps maximize the returns, right? So these are all the things that we've seen literally in just testing it. We haven't even fully implemented it. The reason I'm sharing this with you today, because there are companies out there that are charging several $1,000s to set this up. And I'm going to show you some ways of doing it on a fairly inexpensive way, even today, even if you have very zero tech knowledge. Okay, so where do we encounter these chatbots, right? So you've probably seen little widgets in the bottom right of websites, right? You've seen those little round icons, right? Such as something like that. Right, so website widgets, inbound text, outbound text, WhatsApp is another one, Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger. So I'm sure at some point you've all interacted with a chatbot, correct? In some shape or form? Okay. So to build a chatbot, there's really two things we require. One is we've got to teach the chatbot what its function is in the business. Going back to what I talked about earlier, right? So we're creating a virtual AI persona or an advisor. In this case, the advisor is a sales chatbot. So if you were hiring a human being, right, you'd be hiring them for their experience in sales, correct? Right? So in this case, we're taking a chatbot, which doesn't really know that its job is to sell, but we're going to teach it to sell. We're going to teach it what is your job. The second thing it needs, it's a knowledge base. It needs to understand what your business is and how does your business function. So let me kind of show you, at least I can show you the documentation part of this, just so you can see that it's not a mystery, it's not something that no one here could work. What we are experimenting with right now, just talking about books right now, is we're talking about a book bot, right? So imagine, because here's what we know. How many of us have ever bought a book and not read the book? Anybody guilty? Anybody guilty, right? Anybody bought a course and not gone through a course, right? We know that attention span is decreasing, right? However, you can create a book page, have a bot trained on your book, and on your book you say, hey, go to my website, and you can actually talk to a book bot and actually ask the bot questions about my book, right? And what your book bot's going to do is upsell them into the course, right? So that's how a book bot can work, right? So here you are putting books, $5, $10 books, $1 books on Amazon, and the process guides people back to your website, where the bot now says, hey, welcome, what questions do you have about my book? So as well, what's the theme of the book? Who's the hero of the book? Whatever the books are about, right? And at the end, it's going, hey, sorry, what's your name? Brittany? Yeah. By the way, Brittany's also got a course that's based on the book. Click here to learn more, right? Yeah. So that's all possible today, right? All right, so let me whip over to here. All right. So it'll be easier for me to show you here. Okay, so first of all, it's the job, right? So the job description is basically, you will act as a customer support and sales assistant for BeeEPIC. That BeeEPIC is my company name. Your operations revolve around answering questions related to BeeEPIC outsourcing services, educating contact on the benefits of hiring a virtual assistant, why BeeEPIC outsourcing is different and better than other virtual assistant companies, encouraging contacts to hire their own virtual assistants, and book an appointment to chat to a BeeEPIC outsourcing team member, right? You are a friendly, professional, detail-oriented, persuasive, innovative, and efficient. Your goal is to get new contacts to sign up and hire VAs. So it's basically, I'm teaching the bot what is basically its function is, right? Now, the next document we need is the knowledge base. So now it knows what its job is. Oh, and I've actually also given it a name, right? So my bot's name is Paige. It stands for Beejel's Personal AI-generated EPIC assistant. So it's an acronym. So that's why my bot's called Paige, right? So come over here. And just so you know why I'm struggling with this is because this is what I see, right? See, that is why I'm struggling with my laptop, because I see in microscopic fonts right now. All right, so this is the knowledge base. Let me see if I can increase it. All right, you guys can see that? Yeah, okay, cool. So basically, it's basically an FAQ document. So I'm predicting what are some of the questions that people might ask me about my business, and I'm giving it a response, right? And in this document, there's probably about 66 questions as of right now, right? Now, when I started this, it was about 30 questions when I started. Because I came up with the first 30 questions I could think of, and then what my VA does, she monitors the chat, the real-time chat between somebody using the bot, and wherever the bot doesn't know the answer, she adds it back to the knowledge base, and we retrain the bot, right? Another way of doing it is that you can take literally your PDF of your book, and you can basically feed it into the bot, and now it's trained on your PDF, right? So when I first did this, I had it trained on my website, only to discover that my website was spewing out complete. Well, some of the answers are like, we don't do that stuff, right? People would ask it questions, hey, teach me how to bake a cake. So my bot would literally come up with recipes for cakes and stuff, right? So but then you start to ring fence it. Then you start to teach it, hey, do not answer questions unrelated to our business, and then it'll start to behave itself, right? So that's the two documents, right? So the job description and the knowledge base are basically what we need to train the bot. Okay, so what are the tech requirements? Well, thankfully, right now, there are some very low-code and no-code platforms. Literally, for about $50 a month to $100 a month, Some of them are even like free to set up your first basic bot, right? So do not fall for people selling you several $1,000 bots. It literally is no longer needed, right? You have to take some time to write the 2 documents I kind of just showed you. That's probably the hardest part for most entrepreneurs, actually sitting down and thinking, well, what questions will someone ask me about my business? Once you've got those 2 things, and literally it's a few hours of work, then all you need to do is basically plug it into some sort of phone number if you're going to use a text bot, right? So there's some different platforms you can use. I'm testing, is probably the right word, 2 platforms right now. I'm using Go High Level for my text communication bot, and I'm using Chat AI bot, which is the middle icon right now, as the other one. There are some others, TDO and ChatBot as well, but that's what I found to be the best bang for the buck, right? Again, different pricing ranging from free trials to starter and stuff there. So the point I'm trying to make is, and most of these are what I call low tech or almost no tech, right? If you can use Canva, you can pretty much, and Google, you can use these chatbots. Different prices here. So the company I'm currently working with after a while was chataibot.io. I'm literally on this $50 a month plan, and it's already saving us so much time. There's consistency. People are still, even though it says, "Hey, I'm Beejel's Chat AI bot," I'm not lying to them. Was that a hand up or is that a stretch?
That is a hand up, but finish what you're saying.
Okay, go ahead. Cool. They still ignore the part with the bot saying I'm a bot, and they think it's a human, right? All right, so let's see if I can do a demo here. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information about my business, and the reason I'm giving you information about my...
Before you move on, I just wanted to ask real quick, how do you choose which one to do?
Which technology platform?
Yeah.
I'll just give you a recommendation. Like, I've tested out a few, so the one that I'll recommend is the one that I settled for. Okay. So because it works, I know the developers, so I went with somebody I could call and say, hey, this is not working, right? So, but I've tried several now. So, okay. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about my business first, because I want you to ask it relevant questions and not your star sign and stuff that's not relevant. So here's a little bit about my business. So as I mentioned, I've been in the virtual assistant industry since 2009. Our VAs help our business clients with lead generation, sales support, social media content, social media engagement, LinkedIn, customer service, follow-up, phone calls, admin. And where we are unique in the industry is that you can literally have a virtual assistant for about $5 a day. That does not mean that they work the whole day for $5. What it means is that per hour is about $5, right? And you don't have to have a VA working the whole day for you now. You literally, based on your business, you can have a VA for 1 hour per day doing the most critical things in that business. We call it the Starbucks model. Here's some reasons that we are unique and different from the industry. One, we build communities of VAs. So these are not just random VAs all over the place. We pick a city, we build a community, and that's really important for their morale and stuff as well. Pricing, we have very transparent and unique pricing. Our clients actually pay the VAs directly, no markup fees. They are experienced. So I've been in the industry since 2009. The team are experienced VAs. VAs recommended by other VAs in the company. We have an experienced team of recruiters that help ensure that the VAs we onboard are good quality VAs. We have a very high retention rate. We monitor the relationship between clients and VAs. We get real-time client support, and we have a host of benefits for the VAs, including in-person training, almost like I put them through a coaching program myself. So I coach the VAs as I would any other client, right? So here's the price difference between us and other companies. So imagine a VA is working 4 hours per day, 20 working days a month. In most agencies, there's often a 6 to 12 months contract. Your 4 hours times by $10 per hour times by 20 days is $800. And you consider this, most agencies have a 2 to 5 times markup on their VAs. Okay? And they squeeze the pay down to about $2 to $3 per hour, sometimes even less, and they're not very transparent to you. How we are different, monthly service fee is the monthly fee is 4 hours times by $5, probably the same or even better level of VA. They're earning more, that's $400, and we have a support fee of $79, right? So total is $479 compared to the $800, and thus that our clients save almost $4,000 per year. All right, now, that's the education part. So what I'd like you to do is grab out your phones and go ahead and text a question about my business to 702-747-4472, and you'll see the chatbot actually respond to you real time. So if you want to test it out right now, go ahead and take out your phones. I've just taught you a little bit about my business, and send a text and ask it a question. Ask it, what's your service? What do you do? How much do you charge? And let's just get some, let's see some real-time responses here. Give you a few minutes to just have a go at that. Did it respond?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and ask it a question.
I just said, what kind of tasks can you help me with? It says we can help with tasks like lead generation, sales follow-up, social media management, customer service, admin tasks, and much more. And more. Visit the website to learn and book an appointment.
Cool. Right. So that's just doing your job, right? So now go ahead and respond to that, or just see what happens next, right?
I said, how much are your services?
Right. So now how it's normally triggered, obviously you want me texting it, how it's normally triggered, people will opt in somewhere on our website, and the chatbot will fire off a text to you, but it's a similar conversation, right? This one you just basically bypass the opt-in, you went straight to the bot, but essentially it's now doing the follow-up. It will continue doing the follow-up until you basically, I tell it to stop. Now, on the back end of this, my human virtual assistant can see the same messages. So if she sees that the chatbot's kind of going off canter, it's basically got stuck, she will come in, or I will come in and respond and correct the message, right? And as I said, and what we do is we take the questions that throw the chatbot off, we retrain the chatbot, so each iteration, each day, the chatbot's almost getting smarter in terms of its understanding of our business, right? Do you have any questions?
Oh no, I was just showing you
Oh.
that chatbot worked.
Cool, right. So that's one type. So that's the one that's set up for the text platform.
How do you tell when it gets stuck on a question?
When it starts to?
When it gets stuck on a question?
Oh, because we can see the back end. So we can see in the platform we use, we can see the real-time communication. So I can show you, but I can't show you while I'm connected to the screen. But I'll show you afterwards, right? So basically, we can see that every communication happening between the bot and all of our prospects out there real time. So the VA will just kind of log in a few times a day, make sure that it's behaving itself. If it's not, it just corrects it. So rather than her sitting there managing all these text communications, she just comes in now a few times a day versus the whole day and takes care of that, right? So a different technology now. So this is the one that we're using on the website, right? So now if you scan this code, that will take you to my website, and you'll see a different bot, the same job description or similar job description and the same knowledge base, but you'll see a different interaction of a bot on the website. So go and scan that code there. So remember, you're seeing two different types of bots. Now remember, these are not decision tree bots. So remember the chatbot 1.0, where the bot would basically say, you come in, you say, do you want to learn about our pizza or our burger? Right? You're going to learn about, and depending on how you choose, it will take you down a decision tree. Now the bots are trained on the knowledge of our business and can do a much better job of answering the questions, right? So again, two different types of bots here. So let's see, so build a bot. So here's a time I was going to actually show you I was actually going to build a bot real time, but unfortunately I can't show you that. But again, if you are interested, I'm going to be doing a live demo on Wednesday of actually how we build the bots and build the personas. So in fact, sorry, let me rephrase. I've actually got a demo that I can send to you of me building a bot real time if you're interested to see how we build it. Again, no low code, which means that no tech experience needed. Essentially, it's basically connecting a few boxes, writing the two documents I talked about, and putting it all together. It takes about 10 minutes to build a brand new bot, right? If I want to do it even faster, I would train it on your website. But most people's websites are probably very mediocre in terms of the information. So we do it by PDF instead, right? But this is essentially what it would look like, right? So we create a little drag and drop thing here. So the first message that gets sent out, if you tested the bot out I just showed you, the first thing we send out is, hey, I'm Beejel's personal AI assistant. And then the second message would be, how can I help you? What can I do for you? And it waits for a response. And then when you respond, it triggers the AI model. And the AI model, trained on the information I just showed you, will start having the conversation with you, and until you stop, and then it will send you back to fill out the intake, or fill out the opt in to fill out the intake form, right? So again, it's trained on sales, but this one's also trained to be a customer support as well, right? So that's essentially that. This is kind of a plug and play. It's a no code platform to set up. So there are two very simple ways to set up a chatbot, right? So again, as I mentioned, on Wednesday, we're doing a live demo of setting up the virtual AI advisors, which I talked about earlier. Some of you may have missed it early on. So these are personas that represent your business. So if you want to see how we set them up for our business, you scan the QR code, just opt in, and on Monday I'll be sending out an email. But this will be a live demo. So it'll be on a Zoom call. We'll show you how quickly to set up a persona and what it can do for you there as well. So let's just talk about, so now that's the technology part of this. Let's talk about the human part of this. How do we integrate a human virtual assistant in with this as well? So the few things we can do. So most entrepreneurs struggle with what is it you do with your business? What's your business? And if asking a business owner to write down 30 questions and answers about their business, it seems like a very simple task, but most will resist doing it. But a VA can actually integrate. So we actually have our VA ask the questions. So we get the clients to write down 30, 40 questions. And then we get the VA to ask them questions. We record the whole thing, we transcribe it, turn it into the PDF, and now we have the first knowledge base for the clients to work, right? Then they can also monitor the chatbots. So the two chatbots I showed you, they're monitoring the conversation on the back end to make sure that the quality of the output is still consistent, it's not degrading. If they spot a question that the bot doesn't know, they take the question, they put it back in the spreadsheet, they either answer it themselves or they come to me and say, hey, how do we best answer this question? I provide the answer, they update the spreadsheet, they update the knowledge base. So again, I'm leveraging a human virtual assistant to manage and train my virtual assistant there as well. So. All right, and then if anyone for any reason is very interested and curious about our virtual assistant services, this is where you can kind of get hold of me. So again, I mentioned it's a direct hire model. So basically, it's a no markup, direct hire, no contract model. We're the only ones in the industry that do it this way. Essentially, we help you match up to the right virtual assistant. We then help guide, train, and support your virtual assistant. And I coach them on being virtual assistants as well as I support the clients. So that's our core service there. Q&A. So any questions you have about integrating a sales AI chatbot into your business?
So this is the question about when we actually use humans versus AI for this one. So let's say our marketing qualified lead comes in. We're still using traditional metrics. We're using lead qualities and all that stuff. I want to train a model to actually start helping lead scoring. How are we going to trigger an MQL to an SQL? Do you have any tools using AI to help trigger MQLs to SQLs?
We're not doing that just yet. So the answer, I don't know, right? We've literally just been playing around with this for like two weeks. So we went from my virtual human assistant doing the outbound or the responding to now using AI and seeing what's the difference. So it's all tracked in our Go High Level platform, but we haven't tracked is it better? All we know is more consistent and more timely. Because before my VA would log in maybe 3 or 4 times a day and get back to people. Now it's instantaneous.
So it's just entirely like tofu. You're not.
Yeah. So as of right now, yeah, cool.
When you say you're using it for outbound, are you only using it for the actual contact, or are you also having it do like lead scraping on whatever criteria you do?
No, I'm not doing it for lead scraping right now. I mean, there are other tools for that, but right now I'm purely doing it for inbound. Yeah, it's basically people come to the website, they opt in, it triggers the bot.
Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
It's-
assist them in getting followers and responding to people?
Yes, yes, and yes, right? So the answer is, can it help? Yes, because it can help with content generation. Nothing to do with what we talked about here earlier. I'm not sure if you're in the room, but you'd want to create a content persona.
Yeah,
So you want to create.
I can do the videos and the content, but it's like having someone post it and then respond to it.
That's where I would still have a VA do the posting. There are, I mean, they use posting tools like Metricool or whatever to do the posting. But as of right now, I still got the human VAs doing the engagement with those people, right? So basically, let's say you want to reach out to influencers, for example, right? Right now, it'll be the VAs that would be basically searching for influencers and sending a message. So, hey, we're launching this brand new product. We'd love to send you a sample, right? Or click here to learn more about becoming one of our influencer brand ambassadors. Right? So that is being done by a human VA, right? Now they come to your website and they say, let's say they opt in or they inquire or whatever, whether it's a buyer or an influencer or whatever. Now that's where we can use the AI sales bots to support the sales.
So yeah, you just need to funnel them to your website.
Correct, yeah. That's what we're doing. So basically we're using human VAs to target specific people on LinkedIn, Instagram. They come to the website and that's with the AI. Now the content we're putting out there is AI generated content, right? Or AI supported generated. It's generated by AI and then supported by human editing.
Okay.
Yeah, so, very cool. Any other questions? Any other questions? Cool. Any, thank you, Peter. Thank you. So we have some time, so happy to answer any questions, whether it's about today's topic or just in general, just a general discussion about the use of AI right now. If you're looking for ideas or anything, anyone have any? Yeah.
I'm interested in learning how to use ChatGPT or AI to create a short course, sort of like your daughter did. Can we touch on that?
Oh, so was there a question?
I want to know how to use how to use AI to make a course similar to what your daughter did, like a 2-day course or something on a topic.
Yeah, it's literally you take, let's say, is it going to be based on one of your books or?
Yes.
Okay, so you take the book and you can go chapter by chapter, or first you can say summarize the book into certain topics, right? Let's imagine it's 12 topics, 12 chapters of the book, right? And then you can say, great, you want to create a module for each of the chapters, right? And then you just break it down to lessons. So you say, hey, take the chapter, and then say, hey, please turn this into 6 lesson plans, right? So there's a formula my friend teaches. It's called 5-5-5. So basically 5 modules, 5 lessons, 5 teaching points, and 5 minutes, right? And it's just a very simple way to wrap your head around creating the content.
Did she create the videos herself, or did you?
Well, this was a live workshop.
A live workshop.
So we basically just did, because remember the purpose here was get it done in 2 days,
Yes.
right? So we actually had people fly in and actually sit and get it done, because that was the promise of the workshop. Like we can sell a course on how to do it, right? But most people never do it.
Okay.
So our promise was when you come and spend 2 days with us, you'll leave with a book written, right? So that's how he did it. But in doing that 2-day workshop, she has the material now to teach the course, so she could teach very easily the thing. But there are so many how to write your book programs.
Yeah.
We didn't want to compete in that space. There's some like very big people, named celebrities. This was basically, I leveraged the fact that she's 18, graduated, and needed to make money to go to Europe, right? So yeah, cool.